Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be a reading for my dearest Leos. Leo, this is going to be your Saturn in retrograde reading, which is taking place on May 23rd. So over the next 4.5 months, we're set to experience an intensification of karmic lessons and dealing with the past. So sometimes our current situation or challenge is kept on a loop because of unresolved past issues and karma. So karma, in essence, is the re-experiencing of an unhealed trauma over and over again. Abandonment fears, running cycles, and separation issues are nearly always rooted in childhood or past life karma. These negative energy blocks could be holding you back from twin flame union or calling in or reuniting with your true soulmate or divine counterpart. So running or separation cycles are a clear indication of karma at work. So when we experience these repeating cycles, we need to look at the deeper causes to end running and separation permanently. So whether you're currently dealing with a karmic soulmate, which many of us have been led to believe are bad or that we need to stay away from them, but the truth is we need them to heal and resolve karma if we ever want to come into union with our divine counterpart. So this reading is for those of you dealing with a karmic situation, or if you're experiencing karma or are on a karmic loop with your twin flame. So this reading is going to take a look at what's happening right now, how you can move through it with grace and ease, what you're learning, what you're leaving behind, so the karma that you're releasing, and what's on its way in as a result of that, and what's your medicine for the moment. Now, my dear Leos, I have been called to ask that you guys check your North Node in particular with these readings, that will resonate the most profoundly with you. If you don't know what your North Node is, you can just Google search. You can do a birth chart. You have to have your birth time, though, and it will be, there are a few different sites that you can use, but it will tell you what your North Node is. Also, some of you may already know I'm an energy worker and healer. So at the end of this reading, if you want to stick with me, I'm going to do a little prayer, incantation, healing, activation for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this, Leo. I am a North Node Leo, so I am right here with you guys. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Let's see what messages Spirit has for my dearest Leo. So what's happening right now? What's happening right now? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. How can you move through it with grace and ease? So we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. What are you learning? The Three of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, compatibility. What are you leaving behind? The Emperor in reverse. Okay. What's on its way in? The Three of Wands. And what's your medicine for the moment? The World in reverse. Okay. Overall energy, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, so Leos, I am getting kind of a strong, clear story that's coming out. Some of you guys, whether this is your twin flame or this is a karmic connection, and for many of you guys, I feel like this, you are dealing with your twin. But some of you guys, you are realizing that the person that you're dealing with, they're coming in as an Emperor in reverse. They weren't coming in to offer you safety, security, stability. They weren't offering you long-term commitment. Okay, and I think you are currently taking a look at moving forward without this person. You're really taking a look at everything the hard work that you've put into this connection. You're also, there may be a possibility that there was a third party energy, although it doesn't have to be a romantic rival. Remember, that can be a friend, that can be an overbearing parent, you know, or family member. It can be coworkers. It can be many different things. It can also be somebody who's a bit of a workaholic. But what I'm seeing here is this karma is being healed and released. Look at that. And we have the Empress. So for many of you, yep, and the Two of Cups in reverse. Many of you guys, wow, very clear energy. Some of you guys, you may be dealing with a Cancer or have Cancer in your chart. Okay, but what I'm seeing here is that many of you guys, you are healing and clearing karma between you and your twin. So you guys are either already in separation or you're thinking about separation, because this has been a very difficult journey. The Empress, the divine feminine, is in the upright, so ready to receive and ready for love. And Leo, I feel like this is your energy regardless of gender. And I feel like the Empress here is holding space for her Emperor, but he still has to release and purge. I also feel that many of my Leos, you were dealing with somebody who was in this player type energy that maybe had you in a third party situation, or somebody that wasn't quite ready to settle down. And there's this energy of giving up on this connection for the time being, or walking away from it with the Two of Cups. And many of you guys, this has already happened. But you're holding yourself in high regard, Leo, and you're definitely doing some healing and some clearing, some purging and releasing. Many of you guys, the Three of Swords, if you follow me, you know that this oftentimes does go back to childhood. So many of you, you're doing your own shadow work. But I love that you're coming out as the Empress in the upright, because you're ready for this. You've been through a lot here is what I'm seeing. So what I'm also seeing here, because we have 3 cards of 3. Okay, but many of you guys, yes, you were involved in a third party situation. Okay, and again, I've already sort of talked about that. Doesn't have to be that there were romantic rivals. Okay, but you're thinking about starting something new, moving on a different path, moving away from this Emperor energy, even if it is your divine counterpart. But with soulmate and with twin flame energy, as you release, as you purge and release this sort of connection, if you move away from it, it activates a cord between you guys. But I feel like your Emperor, Leo, still has some up-leveling, some ascension work to do. So how you can move through this with grace and ease. It's not about looking and focusing on the 3D, what's happening in the 3D reality, because I do feel like in the 3D, it has been quite heartbreaking. And you are in the process of healing that. And you may feel a little bit alone as you do that. You might feel a little bit stuck. But what I'm seeing with this 8 of Swords, Leo, is you're being asked to call on your higher self, on your angels and your guides. You can see that she's sort of in a self-imposed prison. Even if you feel stuck, and even in the 3D, the connection seems hopeless. First of all, there is unfinished business between you guys. But second of all, this is, the reason we're in this energy is so that you can see things from a higher perspective, Leo. Okay? So what are you learning? So some of you guys are learning about cooperation, compatibility, teamwork. Some of you guys are learning that there was something that was interfering in your relationship. But you're also learning, this is a card, 3s are about imbalance. And I feel like many of my Leos, you were giving too much, because this Emperor wasn't giving back, or was giving out. And it's not a gender specific reading, but for the purposes here, he was giving out his energy to other people, to other things, not making you and this connection a priority. Okay. And this is what you're leaving behind. And it's like with a very, very heavy heart. But I feel like you waited for this person for a long time. And I still feel like as the Empress, you're still holding space for your Emperor, but you know that it's time to travel. It's time to fly. It's time to move onto your own path, to look for happiness. Because again, you can't do the work for this Emperor. I feel like they're just not ready. Okay, so what's your medicine for the moment? We have the World. So some of you guys, I really feel like you're going to be traveling. Some of you guys might be physically moving away from this Emperor. Some of you guys might be taking a trip with your friends, with family. Some of you guys might be completely relocating, because I'm feeling the intensity of this connection. You're physically removing yourself from the space of the Emperor. Some of you guys with the 8 of Swords there, you've blocked this person, okay? You've cut off all communication. All right, you're really, because you're doing what it takes to heal and to pull your power back, or to take your power back. All right, so let's go in and clarify, Leo. So the Page of Wands is what's happening right now, the overall energy here. It's an energy of excitement though, because I think you've been in this inertia, you were waiting for this Emperor to show up for you to make good on his promises for a long time. And I feel like with the Three of Pentacles, you're also learning to not overgive. You know, that it takes two. It takes two to make something work. You can't be the one that does all the work. And you can't put your life on hold. Wow, Leo, some of you guys, you're absolutely traveling. Wow, some of you guys are taking a spiritual journey. Some of you guys are really focused on spiritual ascension. So you're really upping your game when it comes to meditation, to prayer. You might be studying with ascended masters or studying ascended masters, really, really focused on the spiritual. Some of you guys are even like taking a trip. What I'm seeing here, it's really important to pay attention to the places that you're being called to, Leo. If you're traveling, if you can move about, because there are certain activations that you may receive if you're being called to go to certain places. Okay, for some reason I heard Sedona when I heard this. So for those of you in the US, someone might be traveling to Sedona. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but Sedona is sort of famed for their energy vortexes. So I'm picking up here many of my Leos. You guys are doing just that. Some of you, you're being called to go to warm, sunny climates, being a sun sign. This is going to be really nutritious, nurturing, and healing for you. If you have water in your chart, you might be called to go to the beach. Some of you are being called to go to the desert. Some of you, where you're being called, the earth, the ley lines, okay, have an activation for you. And it's a huge activation here with the Hierophant. And many of my Leos, because what you're after, what it is that you want in this lifetime, or what you wanted from this Emperor, was commitment, was a higher level of commitment. And some of you guys, I feel, with a very heavy heart, you're healing and moving away from this Emperor who wasn't able to give that to you, in search of just that. Now, I don't like to glorify the twin flame journey here, you guys, because oftentimes we don't end up with our twins. They're not our life partners, and we have many different soulmates. So I feel like, Leos, you guys feel like you've sacrificed enough. You've been in this energy of waiting, hoping, holding space, but you can't do the work. You can't make this Emperor show up. And many of you guys, you're releasing this connection and going in search of your happiness. Really strong Taurus and Cancer energy coming through for you here. So how to move through it with grace, despite what may be happening in the 3D. I feel like you guys are really closing yourselves off. Okay. Six of Pentacles. I feel like many of you guys, you're protecting your energy. Even though this is kind of a card where it looks like somebody's being held hostage, what I'm seeing is you're really trusting your inner wisdom, your connection with your spirit guides and with your angels. You're also, that there's a part of you that realizes as well that this is a gift, Leo. It's almost like you're gifting yourself freedom. And even if it's not about taking steps today or tomorrow, you already energetically, you're being released, or you're giving yourself permission to walk away from this connection. You're learning, you're seeing things from a much higher perspective. Some of you guys might be also working with charity. Some of you guys might be doing, some sort of like disaster relief, or, we've got a lot of sort of messed up things going on in the world in different parts, and due to the pandemic and due to policies and politics and things like that. So I feel like some of you guys also, you're going to be giving out your goodwill and your energy to others, like helping others in some sort of capacity that's going to really help you move through this. It's like taking your mind off of it. Yeah, 10 of Swords, because this has been a very painful ending. So many of you guys, it's also opening up yourself to receive help from not only, your angels and your guides, but I also feel like in the 3D. Remember, Leo, there's nothing weak about accepting help or healing. Especially for those of you who are on a very spiritual journey. I am picking up some of you may be healers, or you may be other readers like myself. It's important that you receive. And it may be even on a weekly basis, you guys, whether it's massage, whether it's Reiki, whether it's readings, whether it's energy work. But I do feel like there is a gift, like you're really relying on soul tribe at this time, friends and family members, to sort of help get you through this very painful ending. Okay. And again, it's not really an ending, because we do see the world in reverse, it being unfinished business. But I also feel that many of my Leos, there is something beautiful coming towards you. You're in search for higher love and higher commitment. And whether that's with your twin or it's somebody else, You're ready. You're in this Empress energy. You're ready to receive, and you're on the path of healing. All right, so what are you learning? You're learning about compatibility. You're learning about teamwork. You're learning about imbalance, okay? Capricorn energy. Yeah, and I feel like Leos, many of you guys, you're realizing that you were doing all the work, because again, the Three of Pentacles is a card of imbalance. The Four of Pentacles is about, you know, they're showing me a table. A table needs 4 legs to be stable. It needs 2 people. It needs balance. And there was something that was really imbalanced here with this Emperor. Either they were burying themselves in work, either they kind of kept you in this feeling of like, it's going to be a lot of different things, like whether it was like there were other people involved or you felt like an option. But what I'm seeing here is you're learning to move forward. And what I love about this, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Three of Swords behind her. Leo, this is you taking what you've learned from this situation and being able to move forward and transmuting that energy. And that's what's going to bring in this higher level of commitment, whether it's with your twin or whether with a soulmate or a life partner. I think you're also realizing the Four of Pentacles is about clinging on to something that you need to let go of. And I feel like this has been, whether this has been a few weeks, a few months, if it's been years or decades, it's time to let go of this Emperor in reverse. This person who wasn't emotionally fulfilling your needs, who wasn't offering you the commitment that you truly deserve. And this person is on a solo journey, okay? But you're not alone, Leo. But it's like you're learning, you're putting this behind you. You're taking what you've learned and you're realizing no more overthinking. You know, I think many of you guys, this may have even been an energy of obsessive thinking, worrying about the ending, trying to make sure this ending doesn't happen, trying to fix yourself or fix the situation to make this Emperor show up for you. And you can't do that. I mean, I think you tried, and I think it was a noble effort, but you can't do the work for this person. And I do see you learning to be able to move on and to heal and to give yourself closure. This has been a very painful ending, but you're also going to see it as a gift, okay? So the card that popped out was the Libran energy of justice. So what you're leaving behind, okay? So for many of you guys, you are in separation from your twin, or you're moving away from your twin flame, from your Emperor, the divine masculine, who really needs to up level in order for you guys to come into union. Now, as you guys know, on a twin flame journey, the breakthroughs that you have, the work that you put into yourself, you focusing on up leveling, ascension, your happiness, this is going to be an activation for your twin as well. Okay, so there's an energy there of, you know, the good that you do for yourself is also going to affect your twin as you guys share the same soul. I do also feel like your Emperor, if this person has left you for somebody else, okay, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they were like cheating on you, although for some of you it very well might have been, because I do see this very painful ending, somebody giving out to more than one person. But I do feel like your Emperor here, male or female, doesn't matter. It could be an Aries as well. Male or female, doesn't matter. This person is going to receive the karma, okay, for basically giving up or turning away or sabotaging the connection that they have with you, okay? So Leo, you're really being asked to just focus on yourself and focus moving forward. Continue on your spiritual journey. You're receiving a major, major spiritual activation. And for many of you, you're being called to travel to a specific place. And this is where you're going to be receiving that. Yeah, look at that. Your Emperor is going to be receiving karma for sabotaging, turning their back, not honoring this soulmate commitment. It doesn't mean anything necessarily, like nothing like, you know, it's not about pain. It's not about death. It's not about illness. I'm not seeing that, but this is exactly what, because your Emperor is vibrating, is in a lower vibrational energy. This person is going to be receiving karma, okay, for turning their back on this connection. That's going to be a huge wake-up call, because I feel like this Emperor doesn't quite see that. He might know that how much pain he's caused you, and might know that you've been up in your head about this because he was giving out his energy to others. But the strength that you get from moving forward, again, it's activating that cord as you move on, as you let go. And I think this is going to be a huge wake-up call for your Emperor, because I think, you know, that your Emperor also really believed that you would always continue to be there. Okay, and so this is a huge awakening, I think, for both of you. So we see the Queen of Pentacles and we see the Hanged Man in reverse. So, or the Hanged Man, actually not in reverse. So what's on its way in? So Leo, many of you guys, you're traveling, you're planning a vacation, or you're planning a trip. Okay, you're looking at all of the sacrifices that you've made, but now you're channeling this energy into yourself. And many of you guys, you're going to be seeing this situation a lot differently. Again, many of you guys were maybe even becoming obsessed yourself about this connection, trying to make it work. Okay. But what I'm seeing here is that now that you're focused on yourself, you're going to be seeing the situation differently and knowing that you deserve better. Okay. And so it's like this sense of peace in this release and moving forward, because I feel like this has been a long time, Leo. And again, it might be just a few months, it might be a few weeks, it might be, it might be years where you were trying to make this work, where you hoping this person would show up, or they would come back towards you, or, that they would come in and offer you the commitment, because the love is here. But you're releasing yourself here. That's what I'm seeing with this Ten of Swords. It's painful, but it's also a huge gift, because you're receiving not only this major, major spiritual activation, but you're finally able to see this connection for what it truly is. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. And it doesn't mean that you're completely turning your back on them, because you're ready for love, and you know that you deserve that. But you also may realize that you can't get it from your Emperor at this point in time. And so you're on your search and you're calling it in, but it's also having a profound effect on your person. The Queen of Pentacles is stable, is secure, somebody who's looking good, who's feeling good. I'm seeing your health improving, and you're definitely, you guys are definitely, like, this is a major ascension for you guys during the Saturn retrograde. It's like this breath of fresh air, Leo. It's like you finally being able to release this person and this karma. So interesting. So Leo, what I'm seeing here, the World in reverse. There's definitely unfinished business between you guys. I do feel like you will be getting, look at that, the Knight of Pentacles. This is your energy. Someone or something that you were so loyal to, Leo, you're actually turning your back on it because it wasn't reciprocating. It wasn't as loyal to you. You weren't getting back, and it's time for you to heal. Queen of Swords, you're coming into alignment. You're speaking your truth. Okay, you may have some harsh words with this person as well. I think they're going to feel a little bit confused, because I'm getting like a Cancerian vibe from this. I think the Cancer energy it wasn't similar, well, it was a little bit similar. Like, it's about, enough is enough here, Leo. And I think you're speaking your truth, and you're no longer putting energy into a situation that truly had you on a karmic loop. So for many of you here, I don't feel like you were dealing with a karmic situation, although it's possible. But many of you guys were dealing with karma between you and your twin, and you're releasing this. You're releasing this. You're moving away from it. You're doing what's best for you. Okay, and this is something you've been holding on to for a long time, if not lifetimes. What I'm seeing is this person is going to reach out. I feel like many of you guys, you may be about to move through this portal. You may be about to get on an airplane is what I'm seeing. You might be about to get on that plane and move for good. This person, your twin, your Emperor in reverse, is going to contact you during Mercury retrograde for many of you. And it's going to represent a huge choice for you. Okay? Some of you, you're going to hear what they have to say. For others of you, you're going to get healing and closure that you need to move forward. Because what I see here, Spirit is putting you in alignment with a higher level of commitment. But you guys are going to know, okay, that, this cycle between you and your twin hasn't quite closed. So again, some of you guys during Mercury retrograde, you're going to get healing and closure. If this person is coming in for their own gain, if they're a little bit afraid because you're leaving them, because they never thought that you would give up on this connection, they felt like they could treat you however they wanted, and because they're receiving karma because of the way that they behaved, or because they're turning their back on this connection. But Leos, you guys are going to know exactly what to do. For many of you guys, you're going to say, I'm sorry, thank you, but no thank you. There's still a lot of work that this Emperor has to do, especially if you feel like they're coming in and they're not being truthful. okay, or if they're not, or if they're trying to be emotionally manipulative in any way, if they're coming in for their own gain, just to keep you stuck, to keep you in their lives, but not to offer you the commitment that you're really truly looking for. Okay, but for some of you guys, what I'm seeing here is this person is going to admit to you that they feel like they're not enough, or they don't have all the tools that they need in order to up level, okay, in order to be with you. And this is a very strong twin flame card. And so my Leos, you guys are all going to do something very different with that information, okay? And Spirit kind of just wants me to leave it there because it's really up to you. And I feel like during Mercury retrograde, which is happening, you know, at the end of May, for many of you guys, you are going to be getting healing and closure. This person is going to be reaching out as you're moving away because you're activating that cord, Leo. But for some of you guys, it's too little, too late. For others of you, it may be something that you're willing to work on. All right, let's go ahead and see what this person would say to you, what they want to say to you. We will be together again. Yeah. For some of you guys, there is a reconciliation here. I want to tell you how I feel. Yeah, this person's going to be opening up to you. I do feel like it will happen during Mercury retrograde, okay? But maybe not for all of you, because some of you guys, you literally are moving. You're traveling. I can't stop thinking about you. I feel like this at one point in time, Leo, was your energy. And we both know I'm not the one for you. Interesting. So what I'm getting from this reading, I'm becoming a better person. I'm going to keep it there. And I'm not available. So what I'm seeing here, I think this is what your twin is going to express with regards to this Magician in reverse. I think your twin is going to express to you, I don't have what it takes to be on this journey with you, to be with you. Because your twin holds you, this Emperor holds you, sees you as the Empress, holds you in very high regard. This person's definitely a runner. Okay, this person is somebody who engages in self-sabotage, sabotaged this relationship. But I think there are a lot of insecurities that need to be worked through. Okay, we both know I'm not the one for you, but deep down you both know that's not true. What's happening here is this person isn't available because they still need to do the work. And I think you're going to call them out on that, Leo. I really do. Because it's like, we will be together again. This person can't stop thinking about, they want to tell you everything that they've learned, everything that they've been through. For many of you guys, this person is also becoming more spiritual, especially if they were much more pragmatic in the past. Or they weren't, you know, they may not have been somebody that you could talk to about, you know, twin flames and soulmates and that type of thing. All right, so I do feel like this person has some self-esteem issues. And earlier in the reading, at the bottom of the deck, I did see the Page of Wands in reverse. Because, Leo, you are a force to be reckoned with. And I think this person, again, they just don't feel good enough, and that has nothing to do with you. With the World card in reverse, I'm getting you guys may be very different. There could be an age different here with the Hierophant card as well. You could come from different religions, beliefs, traditions. And it could also be that you guys come from different backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds, same city, different parts of the city, right? I mean, it can make a huge difference. And so I do feel like this is something that your person needs to work through. But you standing in your power and having the strength and the courage to follow your path, to go for your happiness, is going to have profound effects on your twin, okay? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are going to reunite or be together in this lifetime. For some of you, it will. Okay, but for many of you guys, you know, there's some pretty heavy shadow work going on here. All right, so let's see what other messages come through for my dear Leos. Radha. I love Radha. This is so awesome. Rediscover the lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. So some of you guys, again, this is the activation that you're receiving by being called to wherever it is you're being called to go. Now, for some of you guys, this may just be during meditations, or if you're doing Reiki or you're doing angelic healing. Oftentimes we travel, you know, when we have a good practitioner, they stay grounded so that we can travel across the universe. Some of you guys are going to be doing astral traveling and that sort of thing, or maybe even in your dream space. This is because you're recovering the lost parts of yourselves, Leo. And this is something that's been a long time coming. Okay, and this is going to bring you harmony and healing in your relationships, whether it's with your twin or you're calling in a higher level of a commitment with a new soulmate. And we get cosmic gateway. So I love that because I'm really seeing this gateway, this portal. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. So the energy work that you're doing, Leo, is absolutely affecting your twin. I'm also getting that there is an up-leveling. And it may seem like a miraculous change, but I feel like this is your twin, your emperor in reverse, feeling like they don't have what it takes to up-level, to meet you, to ascend. On a deep level, it's happening. These changes that seem miraculous, they're occurring. Okay, and so there is real possibility for you guys to come back together. But this is also a card of careful what you wish for. Be careful what you're thinking, your thoughts, your beliefs. Because if you have lost hope and you say, well, we'll never be together again, and many of my Leos, you are, because you're leaving this in the past. Remember that your power of manifestation is very, very strong. Okay, so it's really going to be up to you guys, Leo. But I'm seeing really beautiful things. This is a very, very powerful and spiritual reading for you guys. And you're learning. I mean, you're learning that you cannot, and I know that, so many readers, and we say this over and over again, and dear Einstein must be sick of hearing us say this, but truthfully, what I'm seeing here is, you have to do something different to get different results. And I think there's something you've been so loyal and so dedicated to. And Leos, you guys are fiercely loyal and dedicated to the ones that you love. So moving forward without this person or seemingly turning your back is a very, very difficult decision, but it really truly is the right decision, because it's the catalyst, it's the impetus for this person's awakening. And then it's up to them if they're going to come and meet you, if they're going to meet you halfway, Leo. Okay, and we get Nourishment. Angel Isda and Carnelian, number 10. So this is the end of a very difficult cycle, Leo. I love this energy because this is root chakra energy. This is when I was talking about grounding. Some of you guys are very grounded at this point in time. Others of you are working with healers and practitioners who are going to help ground you as you travel, okay, as you rediscover these lost parts of yourselves. So number 10, I'm going to read from the book. This is Alana Fairchild's Crystal Mandala Oracle. Choice is part of your spiritual freedom. You have the choice to feel yourself, body, mind, and soul. You have the choice to feed yourself, body, mind, and soul, with a variety of foods. From physical food to provide fuel for your body, to the food you thought you give your... Sorry, you guys, I'm totally blind this morning. To the food for thought you give to your mind. You choose how to nourish yourself on a daily basis. Sometimes there might not seem to be much of a choice, as mass media delivers a daily stream of imagery and ideas, most of which is based in fear and generates more of the same. However, being offered food and choosing to partake of it is something quite different. When food for the mind or the body is offered to you, and you know in your heart it is not going to help you, you have a choice. The choice might result in you taking in the meal or the idea because you don't want to offend the people you are with at the time. Then you will need to clear any debilitating effect of the meal from your system. This can be absolutely done, but if you choose to live that way more often than not, you will become tired and lose energy. There is a better choice you can make for yourself, if you wish, and when you feel ready to do so. That different choice is to notice what is being offered to you on a plate or in a news story, for example, or in this case, in a relationship, right? And respond with compassion rather than reaction. If someone offers you a meal of fear-based reality, you can understand with your heart that this is all they are willing or capable of expressing in that moment. With the light in your mind, you can see clearly that although it may seem harmless enough to that person, you know it is not a good meal for you. You'd prefer to sustain yourself on healthier and more nourishing, strengthening fare. The love you choose to act on for yourself in that moment is going to contribute far more constructive energy to the world than if you tried to fit in with others and deny your right to genuine nourishment. just to keep another comfortable with their own more fearful choices of food for body and mind. If you are to say yes to food that heals you, it also means reading material that feels good to read, consuming energy that feels good to consume, and eating food that has a positive effect on your body and emotions. Saying yes to nourishment means saying no to foods that sap your energy and drain you. That will likely mean saying no to physical food that is highly processed with additives that damage your body and diminish your energy. Many spiritual aspirants undermine their own efforts to the spiritual path because they do not feed themselves properly to support their body and mind to do the incredible spiritual tasks that they are here to do. You do not have to feel guilty about this if you feel this applies to you. Part of your journey may have involved moving through a less healthy time to realize several things: compassion, understanding of how health can support your spiritual growth, and ability to feel joy and vitality. These are some of your examples. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, Leo. There's a lot of information. I do feel like for many of you guys, when we're talking about food in this instance, there may be a nod to your health, something that needs to be looked at. Okay, with the Queen of Pentacles, about nourishing yourself, filling yourself up. Remember, when you're on the path to ascension, it is important to take very good care of yourself. Pay attention to the foods that you're allowing in your body, the energy. I talk about this quite frequently. But I also feel like this is about the relationships, and if this Emperor in reverse is doing more harm than good and represents a plate of fear-based foods, it is time for you to move forward on your path and to correct that and to not feel guilty about doing it. All right, so if this is where we part, my dear Leos, I'm going to say thank you for being on this journey with me, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. And I hope you found clarity and guidance in these messages. Now, for those of you who would like to stick out with the short prayer, healing, incantation, activation, I'm just going to ask that you take a moment to sit up straight, bring yourself into alignment, focus on the flame. Take a deep breath or two. Just fill your belly with air. And you may repeat after me silently or out loud. I choose of my own free will, through this and any lifetime, and through all layers of my entire being, to release any memory, belief system, wound, or pain around being malnourished. I ask for divine intervention and healing that I may recover radiant health and vibrancy, so my beautiful, sacred animal body and mind are able to join my spirit with love to manifest my divine destiny in the world. May all beings be truly nourished through divine grace and unconditional love. So be it. May divine love nourish the world so every being can manifest their divine potential. Delight in this gift of life and be happy and free, according to divine compassion. So be it. I trust, respect, and love my body, mind, and soul. I choose to feed myself on all levels with what has meaning, value, and nourishment for me. I gratefully receive nourishment from the universe on all levels as I share my vitality and well-being with the world. And so it is. Leos, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I hope you have an amazing, wonderful day. Take care.